In this video, we will be discussing an error that occurs occasionally on the system. The error occurs when, and I will start up JetStream, you're firing up JetStream, and as it's booting up to get to the main page, you will get an error on the screen stating JetDB in use by another user. What's confusing about it is, well, I just started JetStream, the JetStream application. How can it be used? How can something else be using it? So you'll close the application, you'll look down at your taskbar, well, nothing's going on, so how can it be used? It's actually not an issue with the JetStream database in use by another user so much as the JetStream database has gotten corrupted. So what do I mean by JetStream database? If I go to my computer, and I'm going to make this a more reasonable size, and I go to my C drive, you will notice a directory called JetDB. JetDB is a physical directory that contains image files. All of my image files that actually reside in my system here right now will be in this folder. Each of these are an individual study. On the other hand, these two files here are the database files. Now, one of them is an active database file, and one of them is used for, well, as it describes, record locking information, so that multiple things don't try and write to the same parameter or value at the same time. But what has happened is something in here has gotten corrupted. When that happens, people would say, well, just delete this. Well, so we right-click on it, and we say delete. It says, you want to send them to the recycle bin? I say yes, and they don't go. They are currently being used by this program. Okay, so I'm going to kill a program. Kill JetStream. Okay, so everything's good. No JetStream running down here. Just my folder. I'm going to delete. Want to delete them? Yes. And what do you think happens? Oh, being used by another person or program. What is going on is there are services and programs or sub-applications that are running in the background that are used by the JetStream application. So even though my JetStream application is not running right now, there are things that are running. Multiple ways of dealing with this. You could open up your services or your task manager and find all of the offending applications and kill them. That is one method. The other method is what I'm going to show you here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reboot the system. So I'll click on Start, and I'll say Turn Off, but I'm not going to turn off. I'm going to restart. When I restart, what is going to happen is, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the F8 key fairly quickly after the black screen shows up. So the system's going to shut itself all the way down to a black screen, and then after the black screen shows up, I will start tapping on F8. The F8 key, the repetition rate is about, so I'm tap, 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 tap. Did I make it? Yes, I did. The repetition rate is about once a second, 2 times a second, something like that. Don't go crazy. Don't, just mash on it super fast. Just a moderate rate is fine. This brings up an advanced options menu for Windows. It's native in Windows. What this allows you to do is do a lot of stuff. I can boot in safe mode. I can boot in safe mode with networking, with command prompt, a lot of things. I'm going to actually choose, or you could choose to boot Windows normally. I'm going to choose boot into safe mode. Now, when you boot into safe mode, things will look different. You pick your operating system, which there should only be one. You notice all these drivers. You don't see these being loaded. They're being loaded in the background. Now, you think this is a lot. Actually, this is a very, very stripped down set of drivers and programs. It is minimal. It literally is running the least amount of things it can and still stay running. So you can see it says safe mode up in the corner here. So I get my login screen. I'm going to log in as PMS service. PMS service is normally what I do most of my service work. It can have multiple passwords. Passwords can be ADAC SU, kind of harkening back to the old Pegasus days. Password can be Pegasus. Password could be Phillips, or Phillips with a capital P. The most prevalent ones are Phillips with a capital P, Phillips with all lowercase, or ADAC SU. But it could be anything. It could be John. It all depends on what somebody has done to this thing. And it usually is configured upon setup. So, PMS service is my choice. In this case, Phillips is the password. Phillips. The system is coming up in safe mode. It warns me that I'm coming up in safe mode. You can also see the indicators in all four corners. So I select go. Comes up to my Windows environment. I'm going to open my computer. I'm going to navigate to the C drive. I will see my JetDB directory right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say rename. I'm going to rename it to JetDB.old. Now, I have a JetDB.old. I still need that JetDB directory. So I'm going to create a new one. The other thing you can do is literally copy all the files from one location to another, but this I think is quicker. So JetDB. So I have my old one that had my patients in it. I have my new one that is nothing in it, and I'm going to reboot again. So as I reboot, the system will go through the normal boot process that everybody's familiar with. The system does take a fairly long time to come up. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. I'm going to log back into PMS service. Now, what is going to happen is, and just for reference, every time you log in after a power-up, the system actually takes quite a while to do things. It is starting a lot of processes in the background. If you look down here right now, in the bottom right, I have really no processes going on. If we sit, and I am not going to touch the JetStream application. So it loading some video driver, but the system is configured, or at least this system is configured to automatically start JetStream. This is DICOM driver. We got Norton Ghost. But again, I am not clicking on anything. I'm just waiting for the JetStream to come up. So if you know, the JetStream normally is started by just bringing the system up, then you know to wait. Since we deleted the old database by renaming it and then creating a new database folder, there is no database in that folder, in the JetStream or the JetDB folder. There is no database. So this is telling me the JetSphere patient database is not created. Well, we know that. We have an empty one. It says run database creation. and says do that from utilities. So I say okay. It's going to finish the workspace initialization. If I go to utilities, you'll see a create patient database. All you have to do is literally click on it. It's going to ask for the name. Leave that alone. Just say okay. It'll tell you it's created. You say okay. It's going to say we should restart this application. We're going to exit right now. I say okay. JetStream application goes away. Now, it told me, hey, I need to restart this thing. Okay, I can restart it. Before I restart it, let's go take a quick look. Open up my C drive, open up JetDB, which is my new one. Ah, look at that. I now have a database. It was empty. I now have one. So when I fire up my JetStream Workspace application, I will come up clean. I will have no errors. Now, that's good, but we are still missing stuff. I also have no patients. That's bad. So how can I get the old patients from the old database directory into my new database directory? It's actually quite simple. I'm going to click on patient, import patient data. There should be a selection called browser for patient data files here. Okay, if there isn't, and we will replicate that, or patient database or connectivity, I'm going to get rid of it. So I no longer have that node. If I go back here, import patient data, you notice it's missing. Okay, didn't want to do that. Import patient data, but you notice it's missing. Let's get out of there. Go back to my utilities, connectivity configuration. So I don't have that database directory that I wanted. Click on my plus and browser for patient data files. Oh, look at that. I can create one. Select, leave these alone, save. I'm back to my browser for patient data files. This allows me to look and browse around on the hard drive or hard drives. Could be an external hard drive, could be any hard drive for patient files. So back to import patient data. Click my browser for patient data files. And now here's my navigation ability. I will navigate to my C drive. I will navigate to JetDB old. That is what I renamed the old patient directory to be. If you called it JetDB.junk, you're going to select that. Whatever you rename this to be, use that name. Select that name. I will say okay. It's going to work for a while. The more patients you have, the longer you're going to wait. If you have 2 years worth of patients, you're going to wait quite a while. Once I've selected my my patients, I can sort them by date. I can sort them by name, whatever. Sorting by name or date is actually a fairly good thing to do, because let's say I only want last year's stuff. I can pick the top one, hold down my shift, pick the bottom one. I'm only going to get my 2017 patient files. If I say I want last 2 years, 2016. If I want stuff from way back in a Wayback Machine, I can pick all of them. Once you've selected your patients, we've selected them, but we have not imported them. So we have to choose the import function. So I'll pick import, and you can see it's going through patient by patient, study by study, importing the data into the new database. When it's doing that, it's making a copy of the patient data, and it's moving it, or making a copy and placing that copy in the database. So if I get out of this and I now open my patient browser, I now have all my patients. These are patients in the new patient DB directory. So I'm going to kill my application. I'm going to go look. So JetDB has patient data and database. JetDB old has patient data and patient database. Now, I don't want this hogging up space on my system. So right click on it. I'm not sure why I can't right click, but anyway, I'm going to tell it delete. You want to throw that away because it's the old data. Yes. So it's gone. I'm going to go empty my trash bin because you want to free up that the drive space. I'm going to start my application up again. And if I go open my patient browser, I got all my patients to prove that they're really there. There's a patient study. So it's not that they're just in some kind of ethereal screen, they actually exist and I can access them. I freed up my space, I got my patients back, my database works, everything should be good.
The support staff at Universal Medical are here to assist you with all of your nuclear medicine technical and parts related questions. Please call us at 888-239-3510.